Welcome, welcome. We are so excited to have you with us today. So excited to have you meet and connect with one of our very own Disciple Thought Leader ambassadors, Amanda Powell. Amanda, thanks for being here today.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
We are so excited to talk about this topic, especially right before General Conference. And we're talking about abundance. And I get to talk with a lot of different women. And I got to tell you, this is a big thing. This is a big challenge for women to get that abundance mindset and then to stay there, to actually stay in that space of, I'm going to think abundant minded, especially when finances get tight or when something hard happens or like health issues or children dealing with struggles and things like that. Being able to stay in that abundance mindset can be really hard. So we're going to talk about that today. Amanda, do you want to just give us your 30-second introduction to yourself so the women get to know you just a little bit?
Absolutely. I am the mother of 4 amazing adult children, and raising adult children is very different than raising children. And they are teaching me, and I'm learning and growing, and I absolutely love that. I have been married for 25 years to the man of my dreams. He's absolutely amazing and supports me in all that I do. So that's a little bit about me.
Love. And let's talk about how you got into this whole abundance mindset, because that wasn't always your nature or what you felt led to.
Oh my gosh, not at all. I grew up in a large family. I am one of 10 siblings, well, 10 children. And I grew up believing that money was fixed and limited. And let me explain what I mean by that. I grew up in a household where you go to work and you get a fixed amount of money, and then that money comes in and you pay your bills, and what you have left is very, very limited. And so that's how I grew up. And so as I married my husband and as we started our life together, money really made a lot of decisions for me. I was always chasing the dollar, right? Well, if I work here, it pays this much more an hour. If I do this, right, it made those decisions for me. And I remember going to a retreat, one of yours, Connie, and meeting a lady amazing. I absolutely love and adore her. Janae Thompson has such a place in my heart. And I remember she inspired me to really open myself up to the learning and the blessings that can come from simply changing your mindset. And I left that retreat, you guys, and I was so hungry. Like I could not find enough to chew on, right? I was so hungry. And so I jumped into a deep study. And the first place I went is my scriptures and conference talks. And I wanted to know what God had to say about abundance. I wanted to know his law of abundance. And through the study, I came to know for myself that the earth is full and there is indeed enough to spare. And changing my relationship with money has just allowed these blessings and this abundance to flow into my life.
Oh, I love that. And that just shows that whatever we do grow up, and I think everybody's got a money story that in their childhood, right? I remember that too. I remember not having enough to eat. And I remember, the woe is me, start the violins, but I remember those things. And it stays with you, this feeling of you can think all positive and do your affirmations and all the things. And then when something hits, you're like, and it takes you back to those triggers and to the, okay, I'm trying to stay in the space, but I know what can actually happen and what the reality can be. So take us through what were some of maybe the tools and the steps that once you had that sort of aha awakening, what were some of the tools that you started utilizing?
Yeah, so the first thing I had to do is I had to get clear. And I mean, really, really clear. And I remember I took out a piece of paper, I sat down and I wrote at the top, what do I want? And then I just stopped. Like, I was like, I don't know what I want. Like, it was almost like I never had really thought about what I wanted. I could tell you what I wanted for my kids. I could tell you what I wanted for my husband. I could tell you, right? But for myself, I was like, I don't know what I want, right? Like it was blank stare, like at this paper. And finally I was like, okay, if I can't answer that question, what is it I don't want? And I filled the sheet, right? Like I was like, I don't want to work more than I see my kids. I don't want to, so like I started writing everything down, right? I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to worry about money. I don't want to, like, I started listing this. And from listing down what I don't want and where I didn't want to be, I was able to then go, okay, well, if I don't want to work more than so many hours a week, then what do I want? And I was able to start getting really, really crystal clear on what I wanted. And that was a number one, like, huge step for me to know where I wanted to be.
I love that. And I think as we get clear and we actually put it down in writing or say it out loud, then that is a catalyst for Heavenly Father to be able to help us to be able to move something forward. I think about in the scriptures, like even when Moses said, and after he had said those words, then it was the adversary that came tempting, or it was after someone had said words, and it was almost like that was like this catalyst. So I love the power in being able to really clearly state what we want and giving ourselves permission to do that. So if you're going to do that little exercise, which I highly encourage, write it down without self-editing, without saying, well, we could never afford, or I don't know if we are okay to have that, or maybe that's just being too focused on money. Right now, you're just focused on those things that you would actually desire to have happen. And then you take it to Heavenly Father and he can help you know what's going to be beneficial for you or not, right?
Absolutely.
So what other tools, after you started figuring out what you wanted, then what did you do?
Then, just like you said, I took it to my Heavenly Father. I took my 16 stones and I said, Heavenly Father, here are my 16 stones. They're laid out. These are my plans. I've gotten very specific and I am willing to do the work. Whatever it is that you prompt me to do, I will go and I will do that, whatever it is. And so I did that. First it started with, okay, let's get the debt eliminated, right? Let's start focusing on debt. Let's get that out of the way. And so I was able to do that. Let's grow your business. Here's how we're going to grow it. And it has been absolutely amazing when you partner with him. I like to call it the power partner, right? Because it's more than just being like, I'm going to check in. No, it is like, we are partners in this. And I want to be able to come to you and I want you to be able to counsel me in this area of my life. And let's move it forward in like next level way.
I love that. And as you're saying that, I think especially women, there's this feel of sort of shame around money, or maybe they haven't had, we haven't had enough, or you haven't handled it well, or there's been some really negative experience. Maybe there's been huge costs like health costs or starting a business or something like that. So there's these pain points and this sort of a shame about money where I notice women don't really even want to talk about it really much. And when you start to talk about it, even, general society, it's a dicey thing. You just don't kind of talk about that in company, right? So how can you, what would you suggest for women to help them to be able to partner with Heavenly Father to really talk about finances or to go and seek resources? I know you started working with Dave Ramsey and doing his course. What can women do to actually get beyond that sort of obstacle and start getting engaged in this financial discussion?
Yeah, it really is about having conversation, right? It's so important. I know when I was doing my Dave Ramsey course, one of the biggest shockers to me as I was doing, so I did Dave Ramsey's financial coaching courses and I'm a certified financial coach. And when I first started along that path, I was completely shocked by one of the statistics that he pulled up so they did a poll and it is 8 out of 10 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And if you think about that, that is one paycheck from a real life crisis, right? That's insane. And in that course, they talk about the same thing, right? People do not want to talk about money. It is like right? It's, yes. You don't talk about it. You don't talk about it if you have it. You don't talk about it if you struggle with it, right? You just don't talk about it. But really, if we look at it a little different, if we look at it as money has a purpose and we need to be very intentional with it. And once you realize that money is just the resource, it is the resource for everything else. And it comes to you and through you, right? For good. And once you figure that out, it really does become this money can be trusted by me, right? I love that. I remember once sitting down right after I'd started with Dave Ramsey and I just wrote my money a letter, right? How crazy is that? But I'm like, dear money, right? Dear money. And I just wrote this out and I found that I wasn't like, money was probably like, oh, she's going to hoard me because that's what she does. She puts me over here in this little account and she's like, I can't ever spend you or touch you. right? Because that's what I did. I saved and I saved and I saved and I saved, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. That money could be working for me twice as hard if I allowed it to.
I love that. That letting go of that scarcity mentality and that fear, and acknowledging that it comes from God. All of these resources come from God and he wants it to be used. And if we know anything about God, he's all about multiply and replenish, right? Everything multiplies, all the sands of the sea, rocks that you can see, the leaves on the trees, the air, all the things are at infinite, right? Because it's all multiplied and everything he does multiplies. So why wouldn't he want us to use these resources and multiply them? And I think about in the New Testament where you talk about the parable of the talents, where the only one that was that he had a concern with was the one that buried it. And you can kind of think of burying your money in the bank, right? You just bury it so you feel safe. It's not that you're not practicing good saving principles, but it's this feel of I have safety if I've got this in the bank. And I love how you are helping women to be able to lift that trust in money and instead partnering with God and saying, trust him to be able to help you to know how to use all your resources to create abundance. Was there any sort of landmark experience that you were like, that showed me that as I trust him, this is what can happen?
Yes. And it was when I started to be part of the DTLC. So Disciple Thought Leader Circle. It stepping into that circle of women and just being able to be like, wow, these women are amazing. And as I had their support and seeing all of the opportunity after opportunity that there was to partner with God, right? And get clear on what I needed to do. So I remember when I first was in DTLC and it was like, hey, you've got to do a landing page. And I'm like, what in the world is a landing page, right? Like, oh my gosh, I do not have these skills. And taking that to him. And I love the story of Nephi. I love that Nephi is like, where do I go to find ore, right? That was my prayer. Heavenly Father, where do I go to find a landing page? Like, how do I get this done? And he will do that. You know, we can say that to him. Heavenly Father, where do I go to pay off my debt? Like, how do I start this process? Where do I go to find a good budget? Where do I go to start having these conversations? And he is going to put those people or those resources right in your path. Like he won't even just open the door, right? He's going to open the door and line the ducks up for you because that's how good he is.
That is beautiful. And it's been incredible watching your journey just in the last year of starting in a certain place and everything just multiplying and multiplying. And now you have passive income and you have all of these things and you've been increasing your skill set. And now you turn around and you teach that to other women, which is a huge principle in abundance mindset, that power and that importance of giving back. What has that been for you?
Oh my gosh, that has been so amazing. And the character of God, it's so incredible. It's so incredible, you guys. I love being able to give back. So I'm going to share two quick stories. The first one is with me helping other women. So as other women call me up and they're like, oh my goodness, like I just don't know how to let go of this scarcity mindset, or I just don't know how to believe that I can deserve all of this. Like, is it okay to ask? Or that was the other thing. Why am I 16 stones? But I'm a little nervous to present them, right? I'm a little nervous. It has been amazing for me to be able to say, and just take them back to the character of God, right? The character of God is he already knows. He already knows what your 16 stones are, and he's waiting on you asking, because some blessings are contingent upon us asking. We have to put it out there for him to do anything with it, you know? And so that has been amazing. And then to just see the click in them, to see that, oh my word, I get it. Like that makes sense. Oh, I feel it. And it's been so amazing. And the second story is, I love this. This just happened yesterday. So my daughter is in Young Women's and they are doing this fundraiser. And she called me up yesterday and she's like, Mom, we have a lot of salsa left over, like a lot. Do you want to buy 1 or 2 jars? And I said, well, how many do you have? And she said, we have 24 jars. And I said, I'll take them all. And she's like, what, really? And I'm like, yes, I will take them all. And she goes, well, so-and-so wants a couple jars. So will you be okay with just 20? And I'm like, yes. And it is so amazing when you partner with him, that is what you get to do. And to be able to know that I am helping young women be able to build their testimonies, right? I am helping them prepare for a girls' camp where disciples are going to be made and testimonies are going to be strengthened and built. It is incredible. It is absolutely incredible to live a life in that kind of abundance instead of being like, I'll part with, I can buy 3 jars, right? Because I'm gonna keep it over here. It's been just amazing.
Oh, I love that. And I keep thinking of the words freedom of choice, because when we take control of finances and when we open up to that abundance mindset of the Lord has, like you said, the earth has all and room to spare, and being able to say, I just need to have purpose behind it. And what am I going to use it for? Well, it makes total sense that we are able to have that freedom to choose time or items or resources or energy or how we're going to use all of these things in an abundant way. Is there any other tip that you want to give to women about not just getting in that abundance mindset, but staying in that mindset when hard things start to come?
Yes. So two tips that I would like to share. The first one is start where you are. Like, to get there, you've got to start where you are. In spite of everything that's happening in the world, we are still living in an abundant world, and we still have an abundant God. And there is more than enough love. There is more than enough money. There's more than enough opportunity to go around. And when we start from a place of abundance and we partner with God, everything will fall into its rightful place. By shifting our focus to what's possible instead of what is lacking, we are giving ourselves the opportunity to just say, Heavenly Father, whatever it is, you can trust me with it. And we're giving them that opportunity. So start where you're at. And then my second one would be realizing that purpose and abundance are 2 sides of the same coin, right? When we are purpose driven, we are more likely to be abundance thinkers. And when we focus more on abundance, we are more likely to find our purpose. And that's what Heavenly Father wants us to do. We each have a purpose, and He needs us to step into that purpose.
Oh, that is so beautiful and so true. And I've seen that, like you talked about being at one of our retreats, and I saw that even when I started this a couple of years ago, of feeling like this was a vehicle we needed to do, but it was like at the height of COVID. And I thought doesn't make any sense. But everything that you're saying is true. As I followed that purpose, I trusted in Him and that prompting that I had. And boom, we had a full retreat signed up 2 months ahead of time, which was a shocker. And I knew that was His hand. I knew that He was telling me, this is the right way to think. Those things are true, and keep going down this path because it will multiply and replenish. And I think it's ironic that you came to one of the retreats and now you're hosting a retreat. I mean, talking about giving back. Now you're hosting a retreat where you're going to be teaching even more of these principles. Tell us about the retreat.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about the retreat, you guys. I cannot even tell you how I'm so excited and so peaceful at the same time. So President Nelson spoke to the saints in California. I'm trying to think of when. It was sometime last year.
4 months ago, yeah.
Or earlier. Yeah, it was sometime. And I was privileged to be part of that now that I live in California. And I'll never forget when he said, you have been purposely positioned for where you're at. And we need the saints to stand up, and you will be the hope, right? And when he said this, it just hit me. And I went, oh my word, this retreat has got to come to California, because California is full of people who have such a strong and powerful message, and they need to deliver it, right? Whether that be through speaking or writing or media presence. And that is what that retreat is all about, is teaching you those skills to really get your message out to the world to influence so many more people. So it is that abundance, right? It's that you're going to develop your skills, but then you are going to give it back to the world. And it is beautiful. And I cannot wait, ladies. I cannot wait. If any of you are desiring to speak, write, or have a media presence, this is the place for you. Like, it will change your life.
And it will. You're teaching about the speaking. I know I'm going to be there speaking, sharing about how to speak, and talking about writing, how to leverage a book, and talking about how I'm helping them to understand the social media step ladder so that they can make it in mom and time where it's not, you're not a slave to it, but you're being able to hit those markers so you be able to effectively get your message out, being able to get the right mindset, the right mission, the right message, and the right marketing. And all of it is doctrinally based. So that's so key. I love that I get to be a part of this because I've watched your journey, and you're going to be talking about money mindset in this retreat. Of this is such a big piece of it, of that you apply it to money, but also to all the resources, time, energy, money, relationships, resources, health, to be able to create that abundance mentality and let him bless whoever needs this and wants it to be able to do the things that he wants them to do. He's got ore aplenty. We just need to get in and be able to start making the tools with it. I love it. Tell us the dates again on the retreat.
November 3rd through the 5th, and it will be in Oakhurst, California.
November 3rd through the 5th. Okay, in Oakhurst, California. For everybody that is watching, just so you know, it goes from Thursday to Saturday, and it's actually our first out-of-state retreat. But I loved, Amanda is the one is going to be running this and spearheading this whole thing. And I'm so thrilled and delighted to get to be a part of it, to come down and see and help with it. But I love that you're going to be taking them through this, being able to build on this abundance mentality. Because like I said, I've watched you, and you started out when you came to our retreat, and you've mentioned, you said, I had $68 in my pocket. And now I look at how you are just killing it in all these areas of your life, financially, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. It's been amazing to watch this journey and how everything sort of connects and weaves together. Any last thing? Oh, there's questions that people are asking. Yes, it's recorded. You can watch it again. And will this retreat be in Utah? Yes, our next retreat is in January, and we do go through the money mindset. Absolutely. And can we see the retreat on Zoom? No, it is an in-person experience. All retreats are in person, and there's a really good reason for that. These kind of breakthroughs that she's talking about, they happen in that intimate setting where the spirit is so strong and you are so immersed in that, like-minded women coming together and talking doctrinal principles about all of these things, knowing your mission, knowing your purpose, knowing how to utilize the resources, the time, energy, money, relationships, resources, using all of those for good, and becoming an effective instrument of being able to be a speaker, stand and deliver right away, and learn how your writing can be effective, and learning how to effectively post and get your message out on social media, just beyond, I mean, post 3 times a week. It's got to have that purpose-driven way to sweep the earth as a flood, like Elder Bednar has talked about. I love this conversation. I know women are going to want to know more. Amanda, where can they personally reach out to you? And if they're interested in the retreat, I know you do a free call about it to see if it's a fit. What's the best way for them to do that?
Yes, on my Facebook. If you go to my Facebook, Amanda Powell, you will find me, and that will have all the information for the retreat right there on that.
Perfect. And again, that's in Fresno, California for November. Ours is in January in Hebert. Oh, sorry, Oakhurst, near Fresno. Sorry.
Near Fresno.
Oakhurst, thank you. And also, if you want to find out more information, you're not sure, if you're thinking about it and you're wanting to know more about it, you can also do a free discovery call with me, or you can do it with Amanda. Mine is at conniesokol.com/apply. And if you just go to conniesokol.com/apply, then you can just do a free 30-minute call. And we just see if it's a fit, if this is a good thing for you. And if it's not, then we can recommend something else. But it's great to be able to approach this with that abundance mindset of being able to say, wow, I think the Lord has more in mind for me. And I think I'm kind of playing it small or safe or scarce. And if I just open that up, maybe he's already prepared the path for me in a more abundant way. And I can guarantee that's the case. Any last things you want to share, sweet Amanda?
Honestly, you guys, it's the best thing in the world. Like this, I don't even know how to put into words the difference it has made in my life. It has been the thing that has changed everything. I went from $68 in my account, and there's a reason I had $68 in my account. I had 3 missionaries out at the time, and I was going to 3 different universities. And so now I look at that, I turn around now, right? And at first I was like, scarcity mindset. I only have $68 in my account. And now I look at that and go, Heavenly Father, you allowed me to pay for all of my bills, 3 missionaries, 3 universities, so I can not have student loans, attend a retreat, and still have $68 in my account. That's the abundance of our Heavenly Father. Like, worry not. Partner with him and worry not.
Oh, I love that. And he can work with it. He can take any little bit and he can just go like that, which he has done. And we have seen it over and over for ourselves, for the women. And it's beautiful to see. And again, that purpose behind it, it's not just to get it to have it, it's to get it to use it. It's to get it and use it for good. And that's the beauty. We are able to take those 5 talents and turn them into 10 and be able to make a difference. Love it. Amanda, thank you so much for sharing these beautiful thoughts with us. This is so helpful, especially going into this weekend, being able to open up that lens. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Thanks,
And
lady.
we love you, ladies. If you have any other comments, feel free to put them below and we'll check them out and answer them as well. And again, if you want any more information on the retreats, you can go to conniesokol.com/retreat or go to Amanda Powell's social media, and she will have all of the information on her retreat in November, which is coming up really fast and fabulously. And the venue is so beautiful there. I saw the pictures and I'm like, can't wait to get there.
And there's also an early bird package of $500 off. So that's a big deal too.
That's a great point. If you sign up in the next week, I think it is, it's $500 off with an early bird discount, and you can ask us about how to get that. So fantastic. Amanda, can't wait to see you there. Thank you, ladies. Thanks for joining us today. And remember, be abundant,